Guys, this is about being confronted with a patient with very high refractive error in the magnitude of -8 and upwards, and then you have to use your trial frame, not phoropter. Okay. So what happens now? You have to understand that certain trial frames have the capacity to only contain three lenses at a go, maximum of three lenses. And then when you are approaching higher lens powers, the graduation does not come in quarter of a diopter increase or decrease. It comes sometimes a diopter increase or half of a diopter increase, but not quarter of a diopter increase. But during the course of your refraction, you would have to have a need where you want a line improvement by just using quarter of a diopter increase or decrease. So how would you go about it? Now I needed a -825. What I did, in the trial frame you can't get -825. You can only get -750, -8, and then -9. From -7 upwards, from -8 upwards, it's a diopter increment, not even half of a diopter. And I think from 5 to 7 is half of a diopter increase. Now I needed -825. What I did already was I had to have the -8 in place, and then I got -825 lens separately and added together to give me -825. And then the patient had an astigmatism of -150, so I had to load up the -150 in place. So I have got three lenses there occupying just one eye. I didn't have any other space to put on any other lens. It's important because when you want to do a +1 blot test, you have to put a +1 lens on top and then ask the patient if you've been able to blur him or her 4 lines worse than or above their best corrected visual acuity. Now, when I got to the extent of +1 blot test, what did I do? I had to quickly improvise. I said, what I need is, I just need a +1. So -825 plus 1. -825 plus 1 will give me -725. So immediately I need to remove the -8, and then I removed the -025. I left the cylinder in place, and then I had to have -7 and then -025 to give me -725. I did my +1 blot test. When I adjusted it to what I want, now I'm back to I got what I needed, and I have to put in the right appropriate lenses back. Okay, so that is the manipulation you have to understand when you're dealing with high refractive error. Algebraic sum. -825. Then usually if you've got a slot free on the trial frame, you put in +1 on top of it. But now think about it. -825 plus 1, what will it give you? It will give you -725. So since I do not have a space to plug in my +1, what I just did was I totally took out the -8 and the -025. I just brought in -7 and then -025 lenses in place to get to do my +1 blot test. And when I got the right answer I need to do some adjustment. I just plug in my lenses. So these are the algebraic manipulation you need to understand. Sometimes to make my refraction very fast, I do not actually have to keep on adjusting the original prescription in there when you are doing your +1 blot test. For instance, if you have a -3 in place and you want to do a +1 blot test, you add +1. You add a +1 lens to see how far, if the patient is blurred, +4 lines worse than the best corrected visual acuity. If it's just 4 lines worse than the best corrected visual acuity, that means the precision is correct. But if the patient is reading, if you did not blur him up to 4 lines, that means it means the patient is over-minused. It means the patient is over-minus. If it's a -3 in place, you know that you have to put in minus 275 and then add the plus 1 lens to see if he'll be blurred 4 lines. If you still cannot blur him 4 lines, maybe you could only afford to blur him 2 lines. So you need to make it minus 250. Remove the minus 275 and put in the minus 250 and then add the plus 1 on top to see if that will blur him 4 lines. So that is what you will keep doing until the patient is blurred 4 lines. Then that is the right prescription. But what if I tell you I have an easier way that you can do this without removing the original lens there, adjusting it from minus 3 to minus 275 to minus 250? What if I tell you I have a simpler way of doing it? Okay, and what you'll be doing is just to be changing the additional blur lens on top while leaving your original prescription there. So this is how you're going to do it. If you have your minus 3 lens in place, the minus 3 is there already, and then you add a plus 1 blur, plus 1. Now, from your best corrected visual acuity, you expect the patient should be blurred 4 lines. But when you add your plus 1 blur, you now observe that your patient was only blurred 2 lines, wasn't blurred 4 lines. What does it mean? We already know that you need a minus 0.25. What you need is minus 0.25 to blur 1 line. So if you need to blur him 2 lines, that means what you need, an extra plus 0.50. An extra plus 0.50. Now, this time around, take out that plus 1 blur and then introduce a plus 150. Now, if you have a plus 150 there in place, you expect that the patient should be blurred 4 lines. Now, with your plus 150 and then your minus 3 there in place, patient is blurred 4 lines. What does it mean? It means you have an extra plus 0.50. Then that plus 0.50 has to be reflected in the prescription. You already have a minus 3 there, and then you have plus 150. It means that plus 0.50 should be taken off from your minus 3 to give you the right prescription. Then minus 3 plus 0.50 is minus 250. Then your minus 250 is your right prescription after your plus 1 blur test. So this will save you the stress of minus 3, add your plus 1 blur length. If he's not blurred up to 4 lines, maybe he's blurred up to 2 lines above best corrected visual acuity, you now take out the minus 3 and then introduce the minus 275 and then add the plus 1 again. It's cumbersome and it's going to cost you time. So you need to be doing the algebraic sum. Any lens on top of the plus 1 or below the plus 1, you need to compensate for it in the original prescription. Now, I've told you about going beyond plus 1, from plus 1 to plus 150. What if the patient is on the minus? Now, what it means is that if you have your minus 3 lens in place and you want to do a plus 1 blur test, you add your plus 1 blur on top of the minus 3, and then you discover that the patient is only, if the patient is blurred 5 lines above the best corrected visual acuity. Okay? If he's blurred 5 lines above the best corrected visual acuity, it means the patient is on the minus. So it means that the patient, you need to blur him 4 lines, not 5 lines. I know that minus 0.25 will blur 1 line. So what you will do is you remove that your plus 1 blur on top of the minus 3 and introduce a plus 0.75. Once you introduce that plus 0.75 on top of the minus 3 and you blur the patient 4 lines, you know that that is your right prescription. Now, from your plus 1, you went down to minus 0.75. Then from your plus 1, you went down to plus 0.75. Then that minus 0.25 has to be reflected in the original prescription. Then what you need is a minus 325, not a minus 2. So finally, you will just compensate for whatever thing it is you removed or you add on top of your plus 1 and compensate for it in the original prescription. By so doing, you can save yourself time, not always having to remove your original lens and put back and plus 1 blood test. This will save you enough time. Bye.